Well, it's the summer, and that means the return of bug season. Experts predict that we could see an increase in the number of mosquitoes, and that's why it's so important to make sure you're taking the steps to avoid getting bitten by them. Dr. Kevin Stevens is joining us now with some prevention tips. Dr. Stevens, always good to see you.
Yes, good morning. How are you this morning? In your
Good.
yellow.
Yes, I am in yellow. Let's talk about these bugs. Mosquitoes are the worst.
Yes, but right now we don't have as many services, so we're not doing as much pest control. In fact, if you look around the city, a lot of exterminators and so forth, their business is down. So mosquitoes will take advantage of this, and we can have more mosquitoes. And unlike the coronavirus, uh, things like West Nile virus is the vector is will be a mosquito. So you have to keep mosquito control under control.
Sure. So what are some simple things you can be doing to try to avoid them?
Well, the first thing is standing water. I mean, a lot of times we can have pots, flower beds, bird baths, and those kind of things around the
Sure.
house. And so try to make sure that you get those pots and stuff out and clean. The second thing you may want to do is make sure you wear long sleeves if you're out, particularly at nighttime. Mosquitoes typically bite more at night in the evening time than in the middle of the day. And the third thing, if you do, you want to wear long sleeves and make sure you use a mosquito repellent. They have many of them out there, deep and so forth. Particularly if you're going in the woods and you're running and you're doing some type of physical activity, particularly now, you want to make sure that you have long sleeve mosquito repellent and make sure you're wise in your exercise and your outdoor activity.
Sure. Is it true wearing things like perfumes and sweet lotions outside makes you get bitten more?
Not really. I mean, the main thing, mosquitoes, they love you no matter where you are. I mean, so the best thing is to get a repellent. That's the best way to avoid the mosquito bite.
Sure. And the important thing about this is that you can get diseases from mosquitoes.
That's an interesting thing here. Now, with the coronavirus, a lot of people have not gone to the providers, and a lot of people are staying at home and they have their diet and exercise regimen may not be the same. And even with the coronavirus, what we have noticed is that people who have vulnerabilities like hypertension, diabetes, they are predisposed to the disease. And the same thing, West Nile virus and all these other mosquito-borne illnesses, you may be prone to get a greater prevalence. So you have to really be even more careful because the worst thing is to have all of this stuff work on us, right? And mosquitoes don't know anything about the coronavirus, and the coronavirus can care less about mosquitoes.
Sure.
So we have to really be careful that we don't get a compounded problem here.
Yeah. And most of the time we get a mosquito bite, it goes away. It's not a big deal. How do you know, though, when it could be a symptom of a larger disease?
Well, typically you can have the same symptoms that you can have with the coronavirus.
Mm.
The primary thing is a fever. So that's why if you have a fever, you need to get checked. A rash, you can have nausea, vomiting, headaches, a rash. And the problem, the one difference between coronavirus and things like St. Louis, a West Nile encephalitis is that you can get encephalitis. And encephalitis is infection of the membranes and so forth around the brain,
Mhm.
and that could be really problematic, particularly in kids. Coronavirus typically does not give you that type of encephalitis. It typically gives you pulmonary problems, where you have cough, sneezing, you have respiratory droplets, and those kind of things. So
Sure.
it's a different kind of a virus, but all of them can be really problematic at this time.
Yeah, we definitely need to be careful. We got to let you know, but very quickly, what is your favorite thing to put once you get a mosquito bite and the itch is bothering you?
Well, you can get a local over-the-counter hydrocortisone cream that you can put on, and that helps relieve the inflammation and the itch. But the main thing, again, if you have any of the other symptoms, you need to get it checked out because it could be a big problem. And make sure you do all the things around your home.
You
Get
got
the
it.
water, the standing water, the bird baths, and all that kind of stuff. Clean it up
All right, clean it
since you're
all up.
home.
Thanks, Dr. Stevens. We appreciate you joining
Thank
us.